Alright, hi guys. So it's your time for your maths, Doraemon. Alright, okay. So hopefully you have your notes with you. Okay, and I'm going to use the share screen so that you can see how I solve the problems. Alright, chapter 4. This chapter will be about indices, surds, and logarithm. Alright, indices is about index. Alright, you have learned this during in your, I think, your lower form. You will learn a little bit about indices. So, alright, without further ado, let's go into the first one, 4.1, the law of indices. So, as you can see here, alright, I'll just take a moment. Okay, alright. So this allows me to edit. Alright, so if you can see here, right, law of indices. Okay, first things first, I need you to understand this. Alright, this particular thing right here, alright, where is my mouse? Okay, this one, this whole thing, sorry, alright, let's go again. This whole thing is what we call an index. Alright, so technically the term indices is actually referring to the power. Okay, so remember, alright, the whole term is called an index, and actually the indices we are referring to the power. So technically you have learned a few of law of indices. Okay, and these are the basic ones that you have learned before. Alright, a to the power of 0 will be equals to 1. Any number with the power of 0 equals to 1. And then this one I've taught you all before. Alright, when a is in negative 1, it means 1 over a. Okay, and then this one, if a over b negative 1, meaning it's going to be b over a. So let's say, for example, if I take a number, let's say 3 over 4, alright, and then I put this as negative 1. Okay, this one is also equivalent to 4 over 3 based on the law of indices right here. Alright, and then you also have this one. Wait, let me just clear this. Erase. Okay, and then you also have this one. Alright, so this one, remember, 1 over n, this is what we call a surd. Alright, so we have surd 2, surd 3, surd 4, surd 5. Okay, so technically your square root, okay, your square root is actually equals to surd 2. Now, when we write a number in this form, let's say 1 over 4, for example, and then if we convert it into the surd form, right, it's actually meaning like this: surd 4 and then a. So let's say if I have uh, 2 over 3, so how can I write it in the surd form? So surd form will be a squared 3. Alright, the bottom one, okay, the bottom one will always go to the outside. Let me just change this. Alright, the bottom part will always go to the outside, whereas the top part will become the power of the variable. Alright, so I need you to remember this. Okay, this part right here, m over n. So actually this one is m, yeah. I don't know whether you can see or not. It's m. Alright, meaning if we have if you write any numbers, right, so the bottom part will always be outside, and then the top will be the one inside, so it will be surd 3 over a 2. So I'll give you another example. So let's say if I write a, let's say is, oh sorry, if I say 9 and then 5 over 6, and then if I change it into the surd form, it will become surd, remember this one goes outside, and then 5. Okay, so it will be 9 to the power of 5. Alright, that is the meaning of this one. Okay, so that is the basic understanding about the law of indices. And this one, I believe you learned this before also. When you multiply two index, okay, when you multiply two index, you are going to add up the power right here. Alright, and then when you divide, you are going to minus the power. Okay, when it's bracket, you're going to multiply in the power. That's why this one is multiply. Okay, and when it's bracket with two variables, you are going to multiply each variable. Okay, you're going to multiply it. Even for fraction, Also you're going to multiply in. Alright, so make sure you notice here the power is multiplied to the top and also to the bottom. Okay, alright, so let's look at some examples of your question. Alright, indices, how do we do this? Okay, first they ask me to simplify. Now when you simplify, you need to use the law of indices here to work it out. Okay, so let's look at the first question. Alright, if you notice here, you will see that all your variables are actually the same. Okay, all is p. Alright, and then you have numbers here, 2, 3, and then this one is 1. Okay, so the first thing that what I will always do is that I will calculate the numbers first. Okay, don't bother about the variables first, we just calculate for the numbers first. So 2 multiply to 3 multiply to divide 1, sorry, this is divide. So 2 multiply to 3 is 6 divide 1, so it will be equal to 1. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. This is 2 multiply to 3 divide 1, and then I just leave my indices here first. Alright, now when you can work out fast enough, right, you don't have to write out like this lah, it's a waste of time. So this one will be equivalent to 6. Okay, so now we are going to check the index. Alright, so if you see here, this is multiply, so meaning this one is this and this is addition. Here is division, so it will be minus. Alright, so it will become P4 plus 7 minus 6. Okay, so this one will be your this one. So your answer will be 6. 4 plus 7 is 11 minus 5 minus 6 is 5. So this one will be power of 5. So this is the answer for the first question. Alright. So technically you need to watch out what is the symbol here. Alright, so when it's multiply, this one you need to add up these two. Alright, when it's divide, this and this you need to minus off. That is why we can straight away simplify it into this form. 4 plus 7 minus 6. Okay, so this one is for the first type of question. Alright, for the second type of question, if you see here, alright, let's look at the bottom here. Okay, if you see here, this one is bracket, right? So in other words, you need to take the power and multiply to every variables inside the bracket, including the number. Okay, so 2 to the power of 6. Alright, multiply, and 6 multiply 3 is 18. Alright, and then multiply, and 5 multiply 6 is 30. Alright, so 2 to the power of 6. Oh my god, this one is how much? 2, 4, 7, 64, I think. Hopefully it's correct lah. Alright, 64 and 18 and 30. So that will be your answer. Alright, let's look at another one. Okay, Surds. Now, when they give you in this form, you need to change it in the index form, meaning something like this. So we are going to use the law here. Alright, we are going to change from this form into this form. Okay, so if you see here, alright, we are using this one actually. Okay, this one we are changing it into this form. Okay, so this one is Surd 3a to the power of 2, right? So when we change it into this form, the one on the outside will go to the bottom, remember? So it will be a 2 over 3, and then multiply. This one we leave it as negative first, alright? It doesn't matter. Alright, so this one will become negative 3 over 2. So once we change it into the index form, then we can use this one to calculate. So you see, same variable. So multiply on top you add. So it will become a 2 over 3 plus, oh my god, my writing is so bad. Okay, so it will become a 2 over 3 minus 3 over 2. So 2 over 3 minus 3 over 2, this one if I simplify will be 4, 5, negative 5 over 6. Or my final answer could be 1, 5 over 6. Alright, because this one is negative, right? So we are changing it back to this one. Right, so this will be the answer. Okay, alright, so for the next question, okay, this one. Okay, so when you have this type of question, what you do first is you need to take the power and multiply in first before you do anything else. Alright, multiply to each of the variables here. Okay, I just erase this first. Alright, so multiply this, ayo, multiply this, okay, all you need to multiply. Alright, okay, don't worry if I already erase because since it's a video, you can just play back from the previously to see how I work it out. Alright, so once I multiply in, what I will get is 36, because 6 squared 36, and then multiply with x to the power of 10, and then y to the power of 2, and then multiply x, y, 4 divided by 9x, 3y, 7. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is by first I divide off the number first. Okay, so because I don't have space lah, I just do it on top lah. Alright, so 36 divided by 4 will become 9. Okay, and then this one we just leave it first. X 10, y 2 multiply x, y 4, x 3, y 7. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to check each variable, same variable first. So let's look at x first. So this one is multiply, right? So meaning 10 plus 1. Since this one is divide, meaning minus 3. Okay, so this one will be leave it as 4. So for x, we check x first. So 10 plus 1 divide. So this one is minus 3. Okay, and then for y, if you look at y, alright, this one is multiply. So 2 plus 4. And then divide y 7. So it's minus 7. Okay, so your final answer here will be 4x, 10 plus 1, 11, this one will be 8. And then y, 6, this one will be negative 1. Or, since this one is negative 1, meaning that I can leave my answer as 4x 8 divided by y. Alright, so these are the 4 basic what they call questions that you need to know regarding indices. Okay, so this one is simplification. Okay, and if you look at the other questions, right, at the bottom you can see there are a lot of examples here. So I just want you to try this on your own first. Just make sure you look at what is the sign here. Alright, for example, since this is divide, right, meaning this one you are taking the power and minus 11 minus 4 and then minus 1, something like that. Alright, you're basically going to do the question just based on the law of indices here. Okay, so that one is the first part for simplification. Alright, now second part here, this one will be slightly difficult a little bit, but it's not going to be like super difficult lah. Okay, so let me just take a snip here. Alright, okay. Okay, this one can close. Alright, so for this question, okay, they asked me to simplify. Now the difference between this question and the question previously is that this one you don't know what is the power. Okay, got x here. Alright, we don't know what is the power here. Alright, so for questions like this, we have no choice. We need to do it very, very slowly. Okay, first things first. If you see here, you have 3, you have 2. Remember that in order to do indices, you must make sure that you have the same base number. Okay, this is what we call a base number. So this one 12 is different. So no choice. We have to break out the 12, meaning you need to factorize 12 first. So how do you factorize 12? I'm sure you did this before during your form 3 or don't know what lah. 12 divided by 2, then this one will become 6. And then 2, 3. And then this one 3, 1. So meaning when I factorize 12, what I will get is 2 squared multiply 3x. Okay, alright, so this one, alright. By the way, this one is wrong. Can you change this to multiply? Okay, it should be multiply, not addition. Okay, 3x plus 1 and then divided by 2, 2x minus 3. Okay, so when you already have the same variables, alright, so I'm going to multiply the power in first. So this one, I multiply the power, this one will become 2x, oh my god, my writing is just so bad. X plus, multiply, plus 1. Then you have 2x minus 3. Oops, sorry. Let me just remove this. Alright, 3. Okay, now this one already factorized. So the next thing we need to factorize is this one. So remember the law of indices, since this one is plus, right? Meaning that I can change this and this into something like this. Okay, so this one will be 2x times 3x times, okay, 3, this is x plus 1. So in other words, I reverse the law of indices. This one will become 3x multiply 3 to 1. Okay, and then, oh, actually don't need to do this. Too complicated. I can just straight away do this. Remove. Okay. Alright. So since I already have the same variables, right? I can straight away do this already. So I can move it into like this. 2x divided by 2x minus 3, and then multiply to 3x multiply 3x plus 1. Alright, so this one is divide, so meaning minus. So 2x minus 2x plus 3, because you minus the whole thing. Alright, and then this one is multiply, so this one I just add up. So this one will become 2x, x plus x, then plus 1. Alright, okay, this one minus off is 0. So in other words, I'm going to be with 2 to the power of 3. 2x plus 1. 2 to the power of 3 will be 8. Okay, 8 multiplied to this one. This will be your answer. Okay, you cannot multiply this thing go inside. Oh, I'm so sorry, this one bracket. It's not here. Bracket should be at the back. Alright. So technically this whole thing is your answer. This one is your answer. Okay. Oh my god, my dog is let me write it better 啦不然等一下你们又看不到 my god 3 2x 加1 OK this one final answer OK 这个不能乘因为你这里有一个 unknown 的 power 所以你不可以把8乘进去变成24你看为了讲这个东西我用华语来讲你就知道很重要还有 my dog 说东西 alright 8乘进去的话错不可以因为你这个是 unknown power so you cannot multiply in this is your final answer alright so this one will be questions involving simplification when you don't know the power alright so let's try and look at another question another example here okay so let's look at another question here involving unknown indices so how to solve this alright let me just take a low mouse they're not moving okay alright so for example like this one right okay so in this case Alright, so in this case, what you will be seeing is that first thing that you need to do is you need to factorize off this one and this one first, meaning you need to remove, not remove lah, you need to break off the power first. So normally how we do this is 5n equals to, oh not equals, alright, so this one is minus 2. Okay, 5n plus 1, we can also change it into 5n multiply 5 to the power of 1. Alright, and then this one will be 5n multiplied to 5 squared. Okay, so now, oh my god, okay, this one, okay, I can multiply to this one, so it will become 5n minus, since it's 2 multiply 5 will be 10. Alright, 5n plus, since this one is square, so will be 25 5n. Okay, so this one we cannot multiply in, so we need to factorize out the 5n. So it will become 5n bracket 1 minus 10 plus 25. Okay, so 1 minus 10 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 25 will be 16. Okay, so your final answer will be 16 5n. So this one is the final answer. Okay, if you look at any numbers here, if you see for example like this one, right, 45, right, you need to factorize first, meaning you need to change it to the same base first before you can do the what you call multiplication or addition of the index lah. Okay, this one also the same thing. This one I just shown you the same, roughly same as this one lah. Alright, and then yeah, that's it lor for simplification. Alright, so for simplification you have two types lah. One is when you have what they call a known index, meaning they already tell you what is the power, then you just use the law of indices to calculate lah. But for those that don't have, for example like this one, right, you don't know the power, meaning you don't, it's an unknown number, right, so meaning you need to factorize first normally. Okay, so for example,
I don't understand.
alright, so for example this one, 3x plus 1, okay, you need to change it into 3x multiplies to 3 power of 1, something like that. Okay, meaning like what I did here just now lah. Okay, this one okay, alright, so that is how you do simplification for indices. Okay, so I believe there are a few questions at the bottom. Let me just look through. Alright, remember to complete all the exercises. Try first. If you don't know, you can just ask me. Okay, this question, question 7. Alright, okay, question 7. Okay, this one, they asked me to show that this one is equivalent to this one. Okay, so this same thing, since this one is minus, right, meaning that this one, the power is divide, so I need to factorize off first. So 2x minus 1 is also equivalent to 7 2x divided by 7 1. Okay, because when divide you take the power and minus. Alright, and then this one I can square, because 7 squared, 7 to the power of x. Okay, meaning this one, the no sorry, since this one is 7 2x, alright, I can square off this one, so meaning I change it into like this, 7 squared then x. Alright, so this one 7 squared will be 49 and then 1, so proven. Okay, so if they ask you to show, right, I think there goes another question. If they ask you to show, for example like this one, show that this one is same as this one, right, it's also the same thing, right, you need to just work it out. So since this one is 3a minus 2, right, meaning it will be 4 3a divided by 4 squared, and then you try and rearrange it so that you can get it like this lah. Okay, so that one is for question 7, simplification. Alright, there are some questions slightly tougher a bit. Never mind, you can try first. If you don't understand, you can just ask me lah. Alright, so those are the what they call simplification for index. Okay, now the next part about index is solve. Okay, so the next part is solve. Okay, solve index equation. Alright, so when you solve, right, meaning we need to know what is the value of m. Okay, we need to calculate, alright, how to get m, and then what is the value of x, for example. Alright, so this one, in order to solve this one, we are going to use the relationship here. Okay, if en equals to bn, so when the power is the same, then we can say a equals to b. So let's say if I have 3 squared equals to x squared, so since both power is the same, I can say x is equals to 3. Alright, this one is for this one. Now this one is when you have the same base. Okay, the number at the bottom here is what we call the base number. So if I have the same base number, okay, this one 2 equals to a, for example. Alright, so a is also equivalent to 3. Okay, so this one is for this one. Alright, this one m over n equals to b. When I change, I just flip the fraction. Alright, the index, what they call the indices, I just flip. Okay, okay, so without further ado, let's look at some examples here. Alright, so the first one, okay, m4 equals to 625. I think this one we need to solve using this one, meaning I will try and make this one to the same power. Alright, so m4, I think this one should be 5 4, if I'm not mistaken lah. Alright, if wrong let me know. So this one m is also equals to 5. Done. Okay, so I change the base number, not the base number, this one I change it to the same indices. Okay, okay, for question B, 16x. So if you see here, the base number is different. So when the base number is different, we cannot calculate. We have to make it to the same. But before I make it to the same, I need to change first. Alright, so this one, I'm going to make it into like this. 8 minus x minus 1. Alright, and then 16x is equals to 8 minus x plus 1. Okay, minus x plus 1, if I don't want to write it in this way, the easier way is also equivalent to 1 minus x. Alright, next I'm going to change the base number. Okay, so 16 is 2 to the power of 4. Multiply in, straight we put it like this lah. 8 is 2 to the power of 3. And then 1x like that. So now the base number is the same. So I can straight away write 4x is also equivalent to 3, 1 minus x. So this one, when I multiply in, it will become 3 minus 3x. Okay. So you bring x to the same side lah. 3x, negative 3x go over will become plus, equals to 3. So 7x equals to 3. X equals to 3 over 7. Right, that is the answer for x. Okay. Alright, so for the next question, question C. Alright, so if you see here, again, base number is different. Alright, so we need to change it so that it's the same. Okay, so this one is the power of 3. So I can write it as 3 to the power of 3 multiply to 3 to the power of 4 equals to 1. And then 3 to the power of 3. So this one I just multiply in lah. 3, 12x equals to 1. Right? This one, I bring it to the other side. So 3, 12x is equivalent to 1 over 3 cubed. Okay? Again, same thing like this part here. Alright, I'm going to change this into this. So when I bring this thing goes up, then it becomes 3 12x equivalent to 3 negative 3. Alright, so 3 negative 3 meaning that 12x is equivalent to negative 3. X is equivalent to negative 3 over 12, also the same as negative 1 over 4. That is the answer. Alright, so for index, okay, you need to be able to play around with the law of indices, meaning you need to know how to use the law of indices. Alright, meaning it's this part lah. Law of indices, meaning this part, wait, okay, this part right here. Okay, you need to know how to play around, how to convert the index form to be able to solve or get the value for the unknown. And then also with this, alright, so you need to try and play around with the questions and see how. Alright, for example, like this one, 8x 64. Okay, so you know that 64 is the power of 8. So 8x is equals to 1 over 8 square. Alright, and then this one you just flip it. Okay, meaning it will become 8 to the power of negative 2. So x equals to negative 2, something like that. Alright, so if you see a number, a big number like this, right, remember you must change it to the same base number first before you can do the rest. Okay, so you can take your time. Alright, try on your own first. Okay, once you've completed, you just let me know, and then I'll just check and see whether your answer is correct or not lah. Of course, I will show you all the correct answer lah, including with the working also lah. Alright, so I think that's all for today lah, your MX. So you just go home and try and do the simplification. Okay, simplification, and then also solve. Alright, solving problems. Okay, meaning you need to calculate what is the x value right here. Alright, so you need to play around with the law of indices. Right, okay, so have fun trying. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye.